basically.
As for like local
Fourth
cliques, I would say like if you want to talk about like all the all the love part of it, I find it pretty interesting how like people who has girlfriends or boyfriends back home. Um,
They had no problem cheating on their boyfriends and girlfriends.
exactly, they had no
I
problem
was
cheating.
appalled by that.
I,
Honestly.
it showed a lot. I was really surprised. I thought people were more.
I mean, it was the idea like what goes on in Taipei stays in
Stays
Taipei,
there.
and it like even girls I thought who were like totally like
innocence.
not I mean, not even innocent, but just like the kind of girls that don't cheat. I was surprised, like I'm dancing in this really erotic way, and I see you making out with this other guy, and then you have like a boyfriend, and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's the last day, and so like there's that kind of like beach week scene. I mean, it's like high school.
break.
It's like spring break Cancun. It's like, okay, this doesn't really count, and like that's kind of interesting to me, the idea that this month doesn't really count, because I think that's that's something I think that'd be really interesting just for the documentary follow, by like figuring out how people change their characters when they're here, like for example like. This I don't know, like this one girl I've been hanging out in Camp 3, and she's just like, I thought she was like totally one way, and she's like, no, I don't even like clubs, I don't listen to hip hop, but she's like queen of the dance floor here, it's like, whoa, really? And and there's like another girl that's just like, oh I have a boyfriend back home, but like whatever, like I don't know, I haven't talked to him in like a month or something, and there's guys just like that. So it's just like, it's really, it's interesting, and when I say interesting, I guess a little bit sad and disappointing,
Sad, yeah.
how
It's very degenerate.
two-faced people can be, and able to compartmentalize and sort of say like, it's not the right way to act, but you're doing it anyway. So what compels you? Why are you able to do that here for this month?
Like when I first got to Loveboat, when I was talking to a lot of people, I felt they put up this front, this second personality. It wasn't them. It was just
it's how they want to be,
how they imagine themselves to be, how they want to be, to make them sound bigger, or different, or just make them sound cooler, which really wasn't. I found because some of the stuff they said was kind of ridiculous. So.
It got better as we got more into the camp, so we knew people better, so we didn't feel like people are as sketchy anymore, or I guess as arrogant or distant. But as for people doing bad things, I feel like this is only like the actual. I feel like the consequences matter more. So if you interviewed them a few months after Loveboat and how they dealt with what they did at Loveboat, it'd be very interesting, because I feel like a lot of them are very naive right now. They stumbled into it, and then they did something bad, and they're not gonna have to deal with it until they get home. Like boyfriends and girlfriends, for example. They'll feel guilty when they get home, and they'll deal with it. But right now, they probably had never experienced that before. Maybe they've never cheated before. They don't know what it feels like to deal with the guilt afterward.
What does it feel like?
That's a whole other novel.
Once people are back home, it will hit them.
Well, there's
it will
consequences
hit them.
for everything.
It will hit them, like everything about them. In one shot. Like right now, we're still here in Taipei. I'm sure, like once I go back to Montreal, I would just like, oh, I actually did all those things or thought of all those things.
I can't believe you did all those things.
Yeah, exactly. Not that was big of a difference back home, anyways. But still, you also realize how much you changed. Like when you talk to your friends, they'll tell you, Tang, you changed so much.
Montreal friends, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. When you talk to your own friends.
You know what's interesting is that I was having a conversation with a couple people, and something that came up a couple times, at least among girls, just because girls are sort of more open with feelings and vulnerability than guys are. But I kept hearing from these girls that I was friends with, just like they were saying, I don't feel like I'm myself here. Like I don't feel, and that was like such an interesting thing, like that they're losing their sort of idea of identity. And so I don't know. It's just like it does weird things to you being here for some reason.
I feel like I'm very lucky that I came here after college. You said it would be more fun. Jason said it would be more fun, like if you came when you're 17, because you're not used to being on your own yet, so you don't feel as restricted by the rules, and you're still kind of more in the high school mentality than you are when you're 22 and you can't stand it anymore. But I feel like if I'd come here earlier in my life, I probably wouldn't have been able to stand my ground as much. I would have been swayed by all the little gossipy, cliquey circles. And I would have wanted to be cool. And whereas now, like I've been through college. College for me, it really just taught me who I am, how to calculate risk, what's worth it, who to invest myself in, and things like that. And if I'd come earlier, I would have probably would have affected my self-esteem more. Whereas now, it's like I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to be that way, even if everybody's against it. But when you're younger, you're not as strong.
Even here, though, I found myself. I'm just sort of a socially conscious person. I'm always thinking too much. Everyone says that, like you. We're thinking too much. But it's sort of like I found myself like having to like sort of like make those kinds of decisions like a lot. Because there's like this sort of group mentality. It's like, oh, we're all going to go to this place. Do you want to go? I'm like, no, I don't want to go. But I end up going. And it's like, that's like something that's like interesting. And I would feel like I would beat myself. I stayed in one night or a couple nights, and I would just like really internalize and beat myself up over like, why didn't you go? You'd be having more fun there. You should be going. And like, like there's that, it's really weird. It's like one night, who cares? But like for some reason, everything is like amplified here because it's going to end at a certain time. And so there's that idea of like making the most of your time. And you know, but as opposed to like actually just doing what makes you happy, which is always that like idea of travel. Like it's like try to fit in all this, everything you possibly can, but then you're like miserable doing that.
Yeah, so the best vacations really are when you just chill out and say, I'm not going to try to cram everything in.
Yeah,
into the
like
schedule.
you got to have some time to yourself, I think. And it's hard to find that individual time. And one of my like favorite people that I met on the trip was this girl, and she was like constantly alone, and I was like, that's really cool that you're able to like be comfortable being alone, because like
especially in this environment.
Yeah, in this environment, because like I wasn't even that comfortable being alone. I'm like 25, I'm a writer or something like that, whatever that means, and so I'm constantly alone.
When I got to Loveboat, it's like was just
I felt needy.
I felt that I did lose my personality a bit. I wasn't myself anymore, and because back home I'm really used to being alone.
Me too.
But like back at Loveboat, it's like whenever I had like I was by myself, I would just take out my cell phone and call someone. I just need to be with someone, regardless
Here
of
you
who
mean?
it was. In Loveboat, yeah. It felt weird being alone.
I didn't like to eat. I don't want to eat dinner by myself. I
Yeah,
feel like I'm
exactly.
like, or a meal by myself. It's like, and in New York, it's like I actually don't like to eat dinner alone either there. But for lunch, I want to be alone.
Exactly.
And I like waking up on my own and like having like most of my day alone, or at least half of it. And like here, it's just like I need someone
back
to like.
home, I always want to be
go
alone.
everything with.
Like I really call my friends back home. It would only be on weekends, like weekdays, and like never.
No.
Sometimes I don't even see my parents. Sometimes just, I don't know. Just completely different lifestyle.
No. And like I mean, I think some of that, at least for me, is the idea of like the sort of communication barrier. But it's more than just that, because like let's say if I was like I was traveling in Europe last summer, and I wanted a lot of alone time then, even though I couldn't speak like any French, So like it wasn't just that. There's something else that compels us here to like want to form these groups, and I don't know. And there's some people like I mean the amount of, I guess like maybe something might be interesting to talk about might be like the sort of amount of sort of amorous activity.
Oh, definitely. The
It's
level
just
of
like-
debauchery here was like unprecedented. I've never seen such craziness in my life ever. And I went to a party school for college. It was like Princeton Review's #8 party school.
Where'd you go?
UGA, University of
Yeah,
Georgia.
UGA.
It's a big football school too. People were pretty crazy there, and they drink a lot. But here it was like, the kind of hookups that went on in the clubs, and I was like, wow, I can't believe people do
It's like
this.
hookups like in the bed next, like
Yeah, exactly. It was really comfortable.
people having
because,
sex on
yeah,
the
one of
bed
my
during
roommates,
a party.
I was room leader on the
Really?
down south trip, and one of my roommates, she put the deadbolt on the hotel room. So I'm
They're always people were constantly doing that.
Yeah, and I had the key and I can't even get in my room. you
Or
know?
like waking up in the morning and seeing a condom on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
guess-
don't have my glasses.
yeah.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's a condom.
Yeah. People
Out
having
of nowhere.
or trying to
And I was
bathroom,
sleeping.
sex in the bathroom.
And they were having sex right next to me.
Yeah.
sex on the beds, like
And,
next to you
when
while you
we're-
sleep.
in normal life, obviously, we have like our own, dorms or our own apartments. But here we're forced to live in such close
I haven't
quarters.
done that since I was 18, so I guess maybe that's.
Yeah, I guess people. I mean, they
Sex
have
in
no
the
other
same
place
room.
to do it conveniently, and so I mean, it happens because we're all. It's because of the circumstances. We're in close quarters, so we have to see that. But just people's lack of inhibition in certain ways is really really surprising.
Was it's the idea that there aren't any consequences in a weird way.
And
It's
they
just
have-
like whatever, like
It's like a 1 month world.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
it was.
it's kind of a closed
This
environment.
is gonna last 1 month, and yeah, like I said, no consequences, and do whatever you want 1 month.
And it's going to be very
was it.
interesting to see what happens later, like what the consequences actually were.
Basically, I think everybody just sort of lost control of themselves. In a
Yeah.
sense.
It's a very, very crazy environment. It's very interesting how strict Loveboat actually is, and then, how crazy people go.
Well, it's like it's the idea like the more you like confine something, the more it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no like pressure release.
Right.
I mean, if we, it's just like it's
Yeah,
just sort
it
of
felt
like
like being stuck in a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when the counselors are like, wake up, get out,
Get off
out,
the bus."
get off the bus, get
Yeah.
off the bus, come back.
What is this click for? Is it just so you have people to go partying with, or is it so that you feel confident about yourself?
I really feel like here, so you can party with people, because it's honestly like at Loveboat it'd be pretty strange to take a cab by yourself to the club, or just to arrive at a club by yourself and then have to find everybody. It's kind of inconvenient. So I feel like it's a convenience thing. Mostly, it's an activity-based relationship.
I would disagree. I actually taken a taxi to clubs alone most of the time, and coming back alone a lot of times too. Just the fact that being stuck with these people for like hours and hours of days, sometimes I get really sick of everyone, even like my closest roommates, that I just want to be alone. And on those like Saturday, Sundays where we got off,
Oh, that was wonderful.
it felt so good just to go back to like my grandma's place and just sleep or just watch TV or something. Just,
was nice.
But not talking to anyone.
My friends outside of Loveboat in Taiwan kept me grounded throughout the trip. There were people I could confide in, and because they were outsiders, they could give me some perspective on what I was going through, and I could count on them to understand. But I mean, being in Loveboat, you definitely had to get away sometimes. The craziness.
Yeah, I think it's just because you have no privacy, and then so when you suddenly have an opportunity, you're faced with like, oh, go to like 7-Eleven by yourself, eat lunch by yourself. It's like suddenly that is a scary thing that you don't want to experience.
It could be any simple thing. Like for me, just the fact that I can take a shower and walk out the washroom like naked, instead of like Loveboat, we had to like do clothing, everything inside this little cubicle shower. It felt so good. Just the fact that you can just walk out of the washroom naked and do whatever the fuck you want.
The lack of privacy was really. I guess we actually got used to it to the point where we didn't want to be without other people.
You kind of want,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Is like you kind of ended up wanting that, and you felt like if other people were all around hanging out in their groups, that you should have a group too, or there's something kind of wrong with you.
Yeah, like mostly the clubbing thing, for example. Normally I would never go out this much in real life. I don't even really go clubbing at home. Not that I wouldn't, just it's more inconvenient. But anyway, I felt like a lot of times when I didn't want to go here, I felt like I don't want to miss out on the fun though.
No.
Yeah, that's mostly the feeling. Like I don't want to miss out on all the fun because people are going to be talking about it the next day, and I want to have been there and experienced it.
Well, it's a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Like I was saying for that night in Primo, a lot of people were undecisive. I would just say if it's about the money, it shouldn't be, because it's a once in a lifetime experience. You'll regret it if you don't come, for sure. And so yeah, I think for a lot of people, it just like they realize it, so they want to do everything.